Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we are in Amrutanubhava. We are looking at verse number 132, and how the Supreme Self, we are looking at the Prakarana of Drugdrushya, seer and the seen. That's the analysis going on. And the question here is, how does the Supreme Self sees itself as the objective world and fulfills itself as the seer, and how all this transaction is contained within the pure self is now explained. How does the water see the objective world of the waves, and all this is happening within the water? So can water see anything anything else other than the water, and yet the variety of the waves is there? So how does he see it? What is the language what is the angle with which we should approach this? Because this question must have come to our mind also. How that one which is one without a second create the creation within itself, maintain it, and then destroy it within itself. We give examples of ocean, wave, and water and all that stuff. Examples are examples. They have their purpose. So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, Te drishya motake dekhe, apana swaye drushrutve tokhe, te chidithiche nimukhe, mazi date. He, the Paramatma, sees the objective world, drishya, and becomes happy on seeing it. All these countless transactions take place in the pure self. Remember, go back to the first chapter, Shiva Shakti Samavesh. The Shiva, the Purusha principle, Shakti, the inseparable potentiality of that Purusha. That Shakti becomes manifold. When she becomes manifold, the Purusha opens his eyes. And when he opens his eyes, because of the manifoldness of the potentiality, he doesn't, "Are yaar, kahan laake mere ko phasa diya." No. Inside also he was in joy. When his eyes were closed and when his eyes are open, he sees the whole variety. He is that also he is seeing as with the expression of joy alone. And all these variety that the Shakti has presented itself as to the Purusha, it's all happening within the infinite reality. It is happening within the pure self. It is happening within, just like the whole dream is happening within the mind. Our problem is we are not the witness of that dream, that's all. We think we are not the witness, actually we are. We think we are not the witness of the waking world, but actually we are. We have to just give up this insistence of being the individual. We have never fallen down from being the Sakshi. This will come in the Mundaka Upanishad, after Prashna Upanishad, though Suparna. This is the same story of the city of 9 gates. When two friends were going on in the plane, one was disinterested in everything, just watching, and the other was interested. Ye kya hai, wo kya hai, ye kya hai, wo kya hai, and then got caught up in the city of 9 gates. That city of 9 gates is this body. See? This Supreme Self, who has become the Drishya Pradartha, who himself, through his potentiality, is expressing as the objective world. This take should be employed by us about the world. The Supreme Self, the Atmic Self that I am, alone is expressing as this entire world of variety through the potentiality called the mind. Apply करना पड़ता है. And then live the consequences of that. The Supreme Self, who has become the Drishya Padartha, objective world, just for the fun of it, he becomes very happy that he is seeing something different every time. Remember why that Paramashiva became Shiva Shakti? Why that Shakti then became Trigunatmika and multiplied into the varied forms? Why? Why did the division begin? Remember the reason?
As Leela.
Yeah, Leela.
Just as a play.
Yeah, but it is a play. But why, if we can ask the question why, it was told, in scriptures it is said that one without a second is bored of being one. if we can, okay, I'll take that word back, not bored. He wants to multiply the bliss that he is experiencing many folds. And the only way to do that is create, destroy, create again, destroy, create again, destroy, create again, destroy. When we interact with the world that is coming to us every moment as joyfully, blissfully. Just now, half an hour ago, one person came. Swamiji, I want to go to Kailash. I said, what will you do by going to Kailash? No, I'm very depressed. Not even 45. Depressed. I have studied Raman Maharishi, I have studied the scriptures, I have got this guru, I have got that guru, and I have checked it out and they are not good enough. I said, now you have come to judge me also? Huh? So that you can say, oh, there is one I found in Melbourne. He is also not good enough. And continue to delve in your depression. Okay. Life is going to keep throwing instances, experiences, situations at us. It will not stop. You only created it. It's the expression of the consciousness. But this idiot ego makes an issue out of it, and the witnessing self remains neutral towards it, and the Atma enjoys it. Choice is ours. That we become miserable or we remain udasin, or we take take everything as a blissful expression. But how? That was her question. Swamiji, Arjuna had a bout of depression. Then then the teacher came into his life, Krishna. That's why you're sitting in front of me now. What can you do? Depression is a sign of a very, very big ego, crystallized consciousness, identified with my, me, and mine. देखो, अभी सुधर जाओ, नहीं तो improve now. Later on it will be more difficult. All this transaction of the appearance of the objective world in endless variety is going on in the same container, the consciousness. In the same container called the consciousness. What is that container? When we use the word container, the mind is that container. Consciousness plus thoughts is called the mind, isn't it? So that container of consciousness, mind is nothing but consciousness. We fail to see it and make it into a big problem and challenge for ourselves. All this transaction of the appearances of the objective world in endless variety is going on in the same container, the consciousness, wherein at the same point subject-object relationship is taking place. At the same point, the father, the son, and the husband, and the brother, all of them are appearing from the same point called the I. Isn't it? From that same point, the subject and object are also bifurcating. You have to just step back behind the I. In the ocean of pure consciousness, the potentiality of wave can manifest at any point, at any time, like the jackfruit tree can produce the fruit at any point in its total body. Just as the ocean, on the ocean, in the ocean, whichever way you put it, the wave can appear any place at any time. Exactly the same way, a thought can appear in the consciousness anywhere, anytime. In the middle of the deep sleep, you wake up by your own snoring. Unique. The subject-object relationship can manifest at any point in the consciousness, experience the world, and go back. So there is no, we may become so serious. Why there was a miscarriage, why the child was, such a young child died, why that child did not even see the youth, why did that child die before getting married, and it goes on, and then we want to prolong, not live in symphony with the nature, with the spirit. There you go. So in this consciousness, so there is no why for it. Why was the creation created? Because that's the nature of consciousness. In the consciousness, anywhere the subject-object relationship can appear and then disappear. I am sitting here, you are listening to me, I am talking to you. At any given moment, suddenly a thought of the son and the mother comes. I am the son. Or for you, you are listening nicely and suddenly some relationship comes up with reference to something. Something must have triggered, something must have appeared out of the subconscious mind. And then it goes away after some time. I must go listen to, come back to listening. It is as if the waves come out of the mouth of the ocean and go back. In this way, the Supreme Self itself is the objective world and fulfills itself as the seer, just like a man or woman finding contentment in becoming father or mother. For how long? Till the children grow up. उसके बाद नहीं, मेरा बच्चा मेरे को छोड़ के मत जा, इसके बिना मेरा क्या होगा. Not in that way. Enjoy the role. The next role is waiting. And you got no choice. Because the father comes, the father comes, the wife expresses. The son comes, the mother expresses. The son comes, the mother expresses. The mother comes, daughter expresses. You have got no choice but to express, or it gets expressed. All these expressions of consciousness, we have identified with them and crystallized the infinite consciousness into a finite consciousness. That's our mistake. Sadhana is to reverse the process without changing anything. So also the pure consciousness finds contentment in seeing all the drishya right within itself and nowhere else. However, in all these transactions of relative expression of seer and seen, knower, known, etc., the oneness of the pure self is never lost. In the appearance of all the waves, the waterness is not lost. The water continues to be water. Same way, the consciousness continues to be the consciousness. When we are focused on the objects exist, then objects don't exist. Then again the object exists, then the object doesn't exist. And we become miserable. Then we become depressed. Then we become afraid. Why this is happening to me? Everything was going so all right and wonderful, and suddenly life has taken a nasty turn. And before they can finish the sentence, again something good is happening. Wow! And before they finish the wow, again the nasty turn comes. This yo-yo is going on. This yo-yo is going on. We should have that. Nowadays we have this GoPro, isn't it? So you should have the GoPro looking at yourself for 24 hours. And then replay the whole thing and see. You will laugh at yourself. So all the duality of seer, seen, knower, known, subject, object, experiencer, experienced, everything is the expression of that one consciousness. When, see, before what did we say? When the consciousness becomes aware of its continuous existence, when consciousness means knowledge, when you know that you are continuously existing, then bliss appears. But that was by going within. Now we are coming without. And how do we convert this experience of the variety into a divine experience? This is the Anvay. This is the Ishwar Advayavad. That from Ishwara's point of view, there is no duality. It's all his play of that one, with itself, in itself, for itself. So because the play is going on, because the creation, maintenance, destruction is going on, because the breath is coming and going out, because the thought is appearing and disappearing, because the waking, dream, deep sleep come and go, because the time is passing by, because once we were young, now we are old, one day will not be, the body will not be there, before it is not there. Come to recognize what is being told. Then you are on the job. Not just intellectually appreciate. You have to sit with it. You have to sit with it. Words are these, but you have to sit with it. How? The consciousness is everywhere, that I am supposed to be everywhere. Then why am I feeling that I am only here? Have you asked that question? Oh, consciousness is all pervasive. But have you asked the question, if it is all pervasive, why I feel only I am here, not everywhere? Where is the lack? Where is the obstruction which is stopping the consciousness that I am from being the infinite one? What is that obstruction? It's your obsession with yourself, with your limitedness. Because it's comfortable. Infinite I cannot touch. Body I can touch. Infinite I cannot celebrate. My birth date I can celebrate every year. Have a party. Mahatmas are having party every moment. Not waiting for 1 year. Socho. Alag tari. Think differently. Think out of the box. Be all inclusive. Because that's what is our true nature. That's what is the pure self, the pure consciousness. It's one without a second. Now, how this oneness is ever maintained is stated in the next OV. Tevha ghene dene ghate pari ekyatse सूत न टूटे Zevi mukhi mukhawate darpane kele. Even when the transaction of give and take occurs, the thread of oneness never breaks. Just as the mirror seemingly creates a second face without losing oneness of the face. How beautiful. How beautiful. The mirror creates a sense of duality without losing the oneness. The water allows the expression of many waves to appear without losing its oneness. The space allows the various spot spaces to appear, various countries to appear, various houses to appear, which we sell and buy and as commodity. But space is always one. taking this view, then play the game of life. Don't get stuck anywhere in mine and yours. Don't insist. Keep flowing. Keep flowing like the Ganges. Wherever the difficulties come, the Ganga ji goes deep. Wherever the difficulties are less, she spreads herself out. Same thing in our life. Wherever the challenges come, dive deep. In every vyavhara is transaction, vyavhara is experience. In every vyavhara or experience, there is always the transaction through this trio of knower, known, and knowing. There is the knower or seer at one point, and known or seen at another. Nevertheless, the thread of oneness is never broken. On one end is the subject, the other end is the object. But because there are two fingers, they are connected. Because there are two hands, they have not become independent. They are connected to the one body. Because there is feet and head doesn't look anything like feet doesn't look anything like head, but they are connected to one body. They are part of one body. So this is very sukshma vichar now. Subtle contemplation. Every thought is made by the triad: subject, object, and the instrument of knowledge. Because these three are appearing, or because two are appearing, subject and object are appearing, whichever way you put it, they cannot appear independently. Something has to be there. The substratum. Wave cannot express independent of water. A pot cannot express independent of mud. Similarly, the subject and object cannot express independently. They are dependent on the substratum. That substratum is the consciousness. That consciousness am I. ये जिस दिन क्लिक हो गया ना, the day it clicks, you will be free. Nothing to hold on to. Swami ji says in his happy mantra mala, किसी को आओ मत कहो, किसी को जाओ मत कहो, ना कुछ लेना ना कुछ देना. अरे सब चल रहा है, ड्रामा चल रहा है सारा. The drama is this sport of manyness without losing the oneness. The sport of manyness of objects in the dream without losing the mind. That mind alone has become everything. अब उसको ड्रीम में तो तुम रियलाइज कर नहीं सकते. यू हैव टू डू इट इन द वेकिंग प्लेन ओनली. So whether it is mantra, whether it is God, whether it is some shloka, whether it is contemplation, everything is by, whether it is emotion, whether it is laya prakriya, whether it is Kundalini, whether it is Omkar. Everything is an expression. Everything has a beginning and has an end. In every expression, there is a subject and an object. Be attentive of the substratum. There is the knower or seer at one point and known or seen at the another. Nevertheless, the thread of oneness is never broken. The oneness is maintained in spite of the apparent duality. Apparent duality? Why apparent duality? Because duality is seen where there is oneness. And that which is seen is only an appearance. Actually is not there. Then what is there actually? Actually, there is only consciousness. Apparent waves. Waves are actually not there. Then what is there? Only water. Nevertheless, the thread of oneness is never broken. The oneness is maintained in spite of the apparent duality. When the wave is mentioned, knowingly or unknowingly, the ocean is implied. How this oneness is possible in spite of the duality is presented through a series of brilliant examples. Just as when one looks into the mirror, a duality is created. I, the seer, and the reflection, the seen. Although there is duality, the knowledge is of only oneself. I got the screen in front of me and I see myself. So what is it? What is it recording? Ghost. So I am seeing myself. So am I here or am I in the screen? This is what leads to depression. I am here also, I am there also, I am the father also, I am the brother also, I am the husband also, I am the son also, I am the employee also, I am the employer also. When you lose your and get lost in the various roles, it has to lead to a breakdown. It has to lead to a breakdown. But if my attention is on the unchanging principle, that I am essentially the man and all the roles are coming and going, it doesn't matter. Play. How do I play with the roles? Just like I see myself in the Zoom or in the camera, I will not try to fix the image. I'll never try to fix the image. If I see some fault in the image, अरे यार ये बाल उधर जा रहा है, my hand will not go to the image. My hand will go to the original. Right? The topi is steady, I'll fix it. But I'll not fix the topi in the image. I'll fix the topi in the original, isn't it? But what do? We try to fix the world. We try to fix the surroundings. You know clearly, absolutely, that you can never fix the image. You can never comb the hair in the mirror, in the reflection. You have to do it on your bald head. Then where do we go wrong when we are interacting with the world? Why do we forget the original and start fixing everyone around? We want to fix the mother. We want to fix the sister. We want to be perfect at the roles. You can never be perfect at the roles. Roles are only fleeting. The waves are only fleeting, and in that fleetingness itself is that perfection. That uncertainty itself is perfect because that is its nature. Accept it. Once you accept change, once you accept death, it's inevitable. Then you will not be afraid of change, you will not be afraid of death. Once you accept birth, growth, disease, decay, death, this is the journey of this body, then where's the question of being afraid? Grow graciously. The problem comes, I don't want to get old. Nose has changed, earlobes have changed, skin has been stretched, lips have got Botox. I'm still the same. Last year, on that other day when we came to Fiji temple, the talk was there on the second day when we were eating food. The lady and the next to me, Swamiji, I'm only 51. I didn't ask her what her age was. अब बोला है तो फिर चढ़ाना पड़ेगा ना थोड़ा. Oh, you look so young. You must have got married very, very young, isn't it? Yeah, I got a 30-year-old boy. Wow, after 30-year-old boy, you're still looking so young. Wow. And chade jati. Again and again she was telling, I'm 51, but I don't look like 51. When the wave is mentioned, knowingly or unknowingly, the ocean is implied. How this oneness is possible in spite of the duality is presented through a series of brilliant examples. Just as when one looks into the mirror, a duality is created. I, the seer, and the reflection, the seen. Aham, idam. You can only work on the aham. That's the only freedom we have. So stop working on the idam. Stop trying to make the idam perfect. Idam means stop trying to make the husband perfect. Stop trying to make the children perfect. Stop trying to make the anything other than you perfect. The world perfect. It's a lost cause. Because here is a daily example. When you stand in front of the mirror, you don't work on the reflection, you work on yourself. You work on aham, not on the idam. Reflection is the idam. Keep this principle in mind and go through life. Although there is duality, the knowledge is of oneself only. Even though we are seeing two, I see I am here and I see that my reflection is in the mirror. I see two, but there is no confusion. Which one is the real one? That confusion was of Mr. Henderson in Matrix. Which one is he? He is the one who has gone into the system, or is the one who is outside the system? And eventually, he realizes both is he alone. That's the third movie of Matrix. And that's when he stops fighting. He stops reacting to Mr. Smith. And the moment he stops giving value to Mr. Smith out there, till he was giving him value, Smith was able to convert him into Mr. Smith, into a dark one. But the moment he stopped resisting, Mr. Smith started becoming light. So accept yourself as the consciousness, the infinite one. Although there is duality, the knowledge is only of only oneself. So also the pure consciousness expresses as the seer and the seen, but does not suffer any loss of oneness. I have explained this now already. Let us start perceiving the divine presence in everyone and everything around us, so that gradually our relationship with the whole world becomes natural and comfortable. It should be as natural and comfortable as you're driving. Every time you sit into the car, you reach your destination, don't you? It's only 2-minute drive or 100-kilometer drive, it does not matter. But you negotiate through the traffic and reach the destination safe and sound. And after reaching, you say, don't say, oh my God, the traffic was so much, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. No, because you got a whole day of work in front of you. If you start complaining now, then whole day is going to be very difficult for you. You enjoy. So what is your destination? Your destination is not losing the oneness in spite of the duality. That is your destination. World is continuously throwing. If the world throws mum in front of you, the sun will come out. There is no choice. Duality is created. Then the son reacts to the mum reacts to the son, wife reacts to the husband reacts to the what is that? Husband reacts to the wife. And this goes on. But you remain the one. Let us start perceiving the divine presence in everyone and everything around us, so that gradually our relationship with the whole world becomes natural and comfortable. We find ourselves with the right people at the right place, with the right circumstances, with the right challenges. We don't fight with anyone. If we have to fight, fight. But also without forgetting that it is one, playing with itself. Like we do with children. Like as the teenagers or in the youth, we used to muck around with each other. We'll physical also. But there's no hard feelings, just for the heck of it. Take the Mickey out of the other. One day he takes us Mickey out of us, another day we take the Mickey out of the other, and the game goes on. So that the game goes on, so that our relationship with the whole big world becomes natural and comfortable. Means we find ourselves comfortable in every situation. We are not out of place anywhere. Ice cube is uncomfortable everywhere. Water is comfortable everywhere. Give any shape, any tumbler, it is comfortable. Ice cube, it will make sound. So be like water. Gradually, differences on account of names and forms are discarded, and Paramatma alone is seen in every form. The more we maintain this disposition and move through life, slowly, 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 our attention is not on the form. Our attention is not on. Our attention is that one alone is expressing as the many. I don't know how, but this is the understanding with which I am moving through the world. And there are enough examples we have given. Because when the answer comes, you will not be there. Gradually, differences on account of names and forms are discarded, and Paramatma alone is seen in every form. The mind will not be agitated by the multiplicity. I am the seer, and God is the only seen. I am the seer, God is the only seen. Because this whole multiplicity is divine. It's an expression of the divine. Then what do you do when you see the whole world as God or divine? You serve it. Seva karo. Don't do seva to push your ideas down the throat of the society. Wherever, and don't go to serve. Whoever comes, serve. Wherever the feet take you naturally, intuitively, go and serve. किसी को आओ मत कहो, किसी को जाओ मत कहो. ना कुछ पाना, ना कुछ खोना. There is nothing to achieve, there is nothing to lose. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Because it's one playing with itself. The mind will not be agitated by the multiplicity. If you are doing meditation, if someone puts the kettle on, we scream, "This is my meditation time." Can't you respect that 1 hour your mother is sitting in meditation, that time is the only time you find time to make that, put the kettle on? Why can't you live with awareness? God is also saying the same way to us also. I'm always thinking about you. Why can't you find one moment to think about me? उसकी भी यही प्रॉब्लम है जो हमारी प्रॉब्लम है. I am the seer and God is the only seen. The entire multiplicity is the expression of the divine. This is called Akhandakara or Brahmakara Bhagwat Vritti. Akhandakara, continuous. Akhanda, homogeneous. Akhanda means homogeneous. Homogeneous or Brahmakara, that which is limitless, that which is of the form of the divine, that thought, where there is only one thought, aham, aham, I, and that I is thought free. thought I, the devotee and the Lord to whom I am devoted. Now here it is talking about the thought I, not thought free I, thought I. Such a contemplation quietens the mind, and in due course the seer and the seen get merged on their own. Everything in our life is going on like this only. We wake up, the waking world appears only to merge. The waker and the waking world merge together. Again that energy is infused, and then again the bifurcation happens. Now the dreamer and the dream world, then they also merge into each other. Then akhandagara, if you are awake when in sleep, then it is good. But whether it is with the food, desire appears, you desire food, you go and get the food, you are not satisfied till it becomes one with you. Satsang also same way. Everything is like that. Vision also is like that. After some time, the seer here and the see in the world, and aankhein band ho gayi, become one. The moment eyes open, because there is a reference, therefore, remember, hum and idam are only coexisting. So, seer and seen only coexisting, appearing. When eyes are closed, there is no reference. The moment eyes are open, again there is a reference. So, when there is no reference, then what is happening? The seer and seen have merged into each other. In deep sleep, what is happening? The subject and the object have merged into each other. What has happened? In deep sleep, they have become unmanifest. Only to be manifested again when you wake up. Because the reference comes. Catch karo ye. Between every two thoughts, same thing is happening. When the water boils and is agitated, all one does is to take it off from the fire, and lets it regain its original state. In the same way, the more the mind is exposed to silence, the seer seen get merged into one principle. So, on one hand, you practice that silence on the seat of meditation. When you are moving in the world, you access that silence by seeing all as the expression of that one alone. Again the mind will become silent. Sab theek hai. Agitation comes where you react. You don't accept. Remain in neutral position. The more the mind is exposed to the silence, the seer seen get merged into one principle, the Supreme Self. In spite of the simultaneous expression or duality, the protection and preservation of non-dual existence is seen in many situations. Although Dvaita Vyapara is business, the business of duality. Although Dvaita Vyapara, transaction through and of duality, are going on, there is no Advaita Hani, destruction or loss of non-duality. This, in our Kathopanishad, this example came, if you remember. By the coming and going of the variety of colors and forms, the oneness of the vision does not get disturbed. Due to the variety of the sounds heard, The hearing ability, the one hearing ability maintains itself, isn't it? It doesn't get broken up because of words. Because of the various tastes, the tasting ability is still the same. Because of the many thoughts, this is how it was with the various senses. Because of the manyness of thoughts, the mind doesn't become many. Mind is one. So where is the loss? Vision is one. All the sensory perceptions are one in spite of the variety of stimuli. Mind is one in spite of all the thought stimuli. The I is one in spite of the waker, dreamer, sleeper. Where's the loss? Think. And we are getting depressed. It is very difficult. क्या difficult है इसमें? We don't want to accept. That's the whole problem. We don't want to accept. We think by accepting myself as the total or the infinite, my God, with one husband and 2 children and 3 children, there is पैंट पीली हो गई पीछे से काम कर करके I am sweating my day in and day out. If I take the responsibility of the whole world, my God, whole creation, what will happen? This is the only maximum thing a human being can think, ego can think. If you take that responsibility, you will be free. You will be twiddling your thumbs like Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. All of them are in meditation. They don't worry about creation, maintenance and destruction. सोचो जरा. So they are in meditation. Ishvara is always in meditation, and that one, and all these expressions are of that one Paramashiva. Everything is happening, yet nothing is happening. Wow, wow, wow. In the same way, the more, in the same way, the more the mind is exposed to the silence, the seer scene get merged into one principle, the Supreme Self. In spite of the simultaneous expression or duality, the protection and preservation of non-dual existence is seen in many situations. Although advaita vyapara, transaction through and of duality are going on, there is no advaita hani, there is no loss of oneness, destruction or loss of non-duality. And where is that non-duality? Don't ask that question now. That non-dual principle, am I. A series of beautiful and unparalleled examples are given in OV. We'll just see one and then we'll conclude. Ange angavari pahude चेहिला वेगळा न पडे तया वारूचा वाचे निपाडे घेणे देणे. The transaction of duality in the non-dual self is like the standing of the horse which is not affected while sleeping or awake. क्या बात है. You can add donkey also to it, but horse mainly. The transaction of give and take in the seer scene duality that is happening in the absolute without suffering the loss of oneness is like the standing state of a horse is not affected whether the horse is awake or sleeping. So when the horse is awake, it is standing on its four. When it is asleep, it is still standing on the four. Very rarely does the horse sit down. So also the pure consciousness that I am is not at all affected whether there is manifestation or no manifestation. Manifestation, waking and dream. Non-manifestation, deep sleep. I am not affected by waking, dream or sleep. Let it go on. Is the phenomena which is going on under certain sets of circumstances. In this way, the non-dual truth is untouched by the presence or absence or duality in its manifestation. Presence, waking and dream; absence, in deep sleep. Lage raho. If you want to make it more refined, then the duality of subject and object is the thought, and absence of the thought is the absence. So, presence of thought, absence of thought. Presence of thought, absence of thought. Presence of thought, absence of thought. Similarly, at a larger scale, presence in brackets, waking and dream, absence of thought, deep sleep. You can apply this anywhere. You have to catch that everything that is happening is a phenomena, and you are the untouched one, and it is all the Leela of the consciousness. We'll stop here. Enough for today. More examples next week. Tomorrow we'll have a class. I'll ask Samidha, if not on Zoom. Okay? Same. We'll just continue tomorrow also. Yeah. Not on Friday, but tomorrow. Good to be back. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a moment.